Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
I don't know who's going to kill you.
બધી હું આ કરું ને પછી તમને ઈઝી પડે કોર્નર હું કરી આપું વિચાર તમને આ બાજુ આવી જાય હવે સાઈડ કરવાની છે, સાઈડ કરી શકવાની.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Praja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Gyanatimriyandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutaye Swayam Rupa Kadadmayam Dadatisva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Sajivam Sadhavetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Esvari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpa tarubhascha kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And before I begin speaking, I'd like to seek the blessings of all those devotees who are assembled and who may be listening online. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from chapter 6, text 36. Asamya tatmana yogo dosprapa iti mi matihi vasyatmana tuyatata sakyo vaptum upeyata. Asamya tatmana yogo dosprapa iti mi matihi vasyatmana tuyatata sakyo vaptum upeyata. Asamya tatmana yogo dosprapa iti mi mati vasyatmana tu yatata sakyo vaptum upeyata. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. And purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. Such a show of yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as spiritual realization is concerned. Therefore, one must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. A Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor, but a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. So, in the previous verse, it said, Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So, as part of the process, we have to practice the detachment. We have to regulate our senses by practicing self-restraint, which is to accept those which are favorable for Krishna consciousness and to reject things which are not so favorable. So we know that the senses are described as voracious serpents, that they're deadly and they're always always just looking for sense gratification. And this is a situation of the living entity in the material world that they are conditioned. So it's described that the mind can be our greatest friend or our worst enemy. So also it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3, the end of chapter 3, about the sitting places of lust. So this is in the intelligence, the mind, and the senses. So one can be very, very much conditioned even to the ability of their own reasoning and intelligence. So that's why it's very important to accept the process which is described and to adhere to what Srila Prabhupada described as what they considered of all evil, which can actually everyone of the demonic nature, as is mentioned also in the Bhagavad Gita, that they have a particular tendency, and these are namely to enjoy intoxication, the opposite gender, gambling, and eating meat. So these are the 4 regulative principles. So these are, and also all, one naturally develops these tendencies, but depending on how one gets more entangled, it becomes much worse and much more detrimental. So it's best to practice regulation and detachment, and to get out that spiral, that negative spiral. Yes, it's chapter 6, text 36. So it's described in chapter 3, text 43. Evam buddhe param buddva samstabhyat manam atmana jahi satrum ahabaho kama rupam durasadam. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So, it's described about that we have to use our own discrimination and our own intelligence. And this is very important that it says one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and in brackets Krishna consciousness. So as one depends on the Lord, He will give us the intelligence, and of course the scriptures, which is outlined how to actually to navigate and to follow the process. And there's certain things which are very important. As it's mentioned also that we should endeavor with determination. So when one is determined, naturally it's going to if one is focused and determined, it's going to obviously reap some fruits. So it's mentioned in chapter 2, text 41 of the Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahusakya hyanantas cha buddhayo vivyase inam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So that's the nature of this material world, that, as we can see, there's what Sri Prabhupada describes as ugra karma, all these advances in science, and we can see different aspects, such as this high technology advancement in technology, where things are produced which are not in accordance with the purpose of life. These are many branched, many different varieties, many different degrees, but how many of them are futile in terms of their application towards, if they actually have any real purpose and can be used for the real purpose of serving the Lord. So there's a story I would like to read now, actually, about the example of determination. So this is it's a well-known story, which is in the Bhagavad Gita. As for determination, one should follow the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the wave of the ocean. A sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal, so the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. The news of her activity spread, and at last Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate toward his small sister bird, so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this, and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. So we can see that by this story, that we know that the Lord is within the heart, and Krishna is omnipresent, so He's everywhere. So no matter what we do, what devotional service we perform, Krishna sees this. And with the example of this story is that seemingly comical situation, but the sparrow, by its determination, happened to actually invoke the mercy of the Lord through its determination. So this is a great example for us on the path, that once we are determined, are, as it says, resolute in purpose, and our attention is one-pointed, then this is how we can invoke the mercy of the Lord to help us. And as it was mentioned earlier in the Gita, it said, by spiritual strength, Krishna consciousness. So this is a mixture of our very minutely our own endeavor, but it's by the mercy of the Lord that we can actually overcome these obstacles. As it's mentioned in the Gita also, that these three modes of material nature, that are very difficult to overcome. But as we surrender unto the Lord, we can easily cross beyond them. Just as the ocean can seem insignificant in as is compared to the water in a calf's hoof print. So it's mentioned which is in the nectar of devotion. So it's text 3. Utsaha nischaya diryat tat tat karma pravartanat sangha tyagat sato vrite sadbir bhakti prasedyati. And translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23, hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna. And 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So, yes, being enthusiastic. So, this is that we can realize enthusiasm is described as intelligence and determination. So, we realize and we can see that this is such a great process, that it's as it's mentioned, that it's performed joyfully, that it's a very simple process, and by the Lord's grace and mercy that we can actually know that we can that we can actually pass on through this process. It's mentioned in the second principle, endeavoring with confidence. So this confidence is that we have faith as well in the process. So by the Lord's mercy, we develop faith, and we have this faith that we can achieve and overcome our obstacles. It's also mentioned about being patient. So there's one verse that I like to read about an example to being patient. Sorry. So it's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 8. So it's mentioned, "My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim." So, one who can have faith that, regardless of their circumstances, that they can continue on, and with the Lord's mercy, that they can, surely overcome. And also a very important one is, it says, to abandon the association of the non-devotees. So, in terms of resolute determination, the question was raised to Srila Prabhupada, how do we become sincere? So Srila Prabhupada gave a very simple answer, which clearly indicated how simple and clear the process is. That if we want to be sincere, he says, if we associate with drunkards, we'll become like drunkards. We will become drunkards. And if we associate with those who are sincere, we'll become sincere. So, if we associate with sincere devotees, we'll become sincere devotees. This is what he mentioned in a lecture in the 1970s. So, I was just wondering, Prajampu, if you have any questions. Oh, thank you, Boo. Yes. 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 I can just get you a microphone. I'll just get you a microphone.
Well, also there's another one, but it talks about blessings, how powerful blessings are.
Yes.
And Hare Krishna. No, is it coming through? Can you hear?
Yes, it's loud and clear.
Okay, yeah. So it's said that pastime, the word got out about the sparrow. And the thing is that Narada Muni heard about this. And so what he did, he blessed that sparrow because of her determination. And with the blessings of this sadhu, Narada Muni, Garuda was sent. So it's very interesting, because to get the blessings of the sadhu, then that triggers Krishna's other servant to come, because he sent Garuda.
Yes.
So it came from the power of a blessing of Narada Muni, that he has to do what his devotee tells him to.
Yes.
And so the sparrow had not only his determination, or her determination to carry on, that the power of how people repeat things about seeing this. Narada Muni came to hear about it, and it was then, as a sadhu and a foremost devotee of the Lord, he gave his blessing to her because of her determination.
Yes.
To serve, and then Garuda was sent because of this blessing that was passed on. So to get the blessings of devotees is a very wonderful thing. So that's what people do when they ask for the blessings of the devotees in the morning, isn't it?
Yes.
When you're speaking, it's if we get the blessings, their blessings, Krishna listens to them, and it's not just, I used to think, no, yes, blessings, yes. I didn't realize how powerful it was. Mother Kalangana, she would always be asked for blessings, but she would give it in such a way that it's important that you give people your blessings, and you may be the lowest person, but you give what you've got. And
Yes.
she used to say to me, so I think of Prabhupada when people ask for blessings. And then by this thinking of Prabhupada, it invokes Prabhupada into the equation. Because she thought herself too low to give blessings,
Yes.
But she thought of Prabhupada, and she said that was the power. And that was the wonder of the blessings, that we can also invoke the blessings just by thinking about somebody who is pure.
Yes.
The power of the blessings can also come through from, like, I always look at the Guru Parampara,
Yes.
because they look so powerful. in the morning
Yes.
to get their blessings for chanting. So